The Halloween Howl of Hailey and Hunter. Once upon a time, on a spooky Halloween night, two siblings named Hailey and Hunter were getting ready for the most exciting adventure of the year. Hailey wore a sparkly purple witch costume, while Hunter was dressed as a cheerful ghost. The air was filled with the sweet smell of candy and the sound of leaves crunching beneath their feet. "Are you ready to explore?" Hailey asked, her eyes sparkling with excitement. As they walked down the street, they heard a soft howl in the distance. "What was that?" whispered Hunter, clutching Hailey's hand. "Let's find out," said Hailey, leading the way. They followed the sound through the glowing lights of the houses, past dancing skeletons and fluttering bats. The howl grew louder, and soon they found themselves in front of a big, friendly pumpkin patch. Suddenly, the biggest pumpkin began to glow, and out popped the friendliest ghost they had ever seen. "Hello, Hailey and Hunter. I'm Giddy the ghost. I need your help to make the best Halloween howl ever," exclaimed the ghost, twirling around joyfully. Hailey giggled and Hunter clapped his hands. "We'd love to help," they shouted together. Giddy led them to a circle of dancing pumpkins. "To make the Halloween howl, we need to sing and dance together," Giddy said. So, the three friends sang a silly song about candy corn and bat wings while jumping and twirling around. The pumpkins began to sway, and the air filled with laughter and joy. Then, with one big howl, they created the most magical sound that echoed through the night. As the final echoes of their howl faded into the night, Giddy smiled brightly. "Thank you, my friends. You made this Halloween extra special." Hailey and Hunter waved goodbye as Giddy floated back into his pumpkin. As they walked home, they felt happy and full of magic. "Next year, we'll have another adventure," said Hunter. "Yes, I can't wait," Hailey replied, and they giggled all the way home. The Star of Courage. In a little village surrounded by soft, twinkling hills lived a small kitten named Luna. Luna was curious and kind, but sometimes she felt a little scared when the night came. One evening, as the stars began to sparkle in the dark sky, Luna noticed a star shining brighter than all the others. It twinkled just for her. "That must be the Star of Courage," she whispered, feeling a flutter of excitement in her heart. Luna decided to follow the glowing star. As she tiptoed through the soft grass, she met a wise old owl perched on a tree branch. "Hello, Luna," the owl hooted softly. "The Star of Courage shines for those who believe in themselves. Keep going, little one." Feeling braver already, Luna thanked the owl and continued her journey, her paws light and her heart full of hope. Next, Luna met a gentle rabbit hopping beside a sparkling stream. "Don't be afraid to try new things," the rabbit said with a smile. "Courage grows when you keep moving forward." Luna nodded and took a deep breath. She crossed the little stream, feeling stronger with each step. The glowing star twinkled above, lighting her way like a magical friend. Suddenly, tiny lights began to dance all around Luna. Fireflies flickered like tiny stars, lighting up the dark night. "We're here to help you shine," they whispered. Luna giggled as the fireflies circled her, making her feel warm and brave inside. With a happy heart, she looked up once more, and the Star of Courage blazed even brighter, like a big, glowing hug just for her. Luna realized that courage wasn't about never feeling scared. It was about believing in herself and trying new things, even when the night felt dark. With a happy purr, she looked up at the shining star one last time. Together, they sparkled in the sky, reminding everyone that courage lives in every heart, big or small. The Magic School Bus of Ms. Maria. One sunny morning, Ms. Maria gathered her class for a special surprise. "Today, we are going on a magical adventure in our school bus," she exclaimed. The children cheered with excitement, their eyes sparkling with joy. They all hurried outside to see the most colorful bus they had ever seen. It was painted bright yellow with swirling rainbows and tiny flowers all over it. "Hop in, everyone," Ms. Maria said, and they all climbed aboard with giggles and laughter. Once everyone was seated, the magic bus began to shimmer. "Hold on tight," Ms. Maria called out. Suddenly, they zoomed up into the sky, over fluffy clouds and sparkling stars. In a flash, they arrived in a magical forest filled with talking animals and colorful flowers that danced in the breeze. "Look, over there," shouted a little boy named Leo. A friendly rabbit waved at them with a big smile. Ms. Maria and her class hopped off the bus and followed the rabbit into the forest. The rabbit led them to a sparkling stream where a family of ducks quacked happily. The children laughed and played, splashing in the water and making friends with the animals. They learned that kindness and friendship make every adventure special. "Let's make a wish," suggested Mia, a girl with pigtails. They all closed their eyes and wished for more magical adventures together. As the sun began to set, Ms. Maria called everyone back to the bus. They boarded with happy hearts and memories of their magical day. The bus sparkled as it flew back home, and the children chatted excitedly about their new friends and the fun they had. "Can we have another adventure tomorrow?" they all asked. Ms. Maria smiled and said, "Of course. With imagination, every day can be magical." The Little Family of Lily and Leo. In a bright, sunny forest lived a little family, Lily the bunny and Leo the lion cub. They loved to play and explore together every day. One morning, as the sun painted the sky with golden colors, Lily and Leo decided to visit a magical place called Rainbow Meadow. It was said to be full of colors, laughter, and surprises. Holding paws, they hopped and trotted through the tall green trees, feeling the soft breeze and hearing birds sing happy songs. When Lily and Leo reached Rainbow Meadow, their eyes sparkled. The meadow was covered with flowers of every color you could imagine. Butterflies danced around them, and the air smelled sweet like honey. Suddenly, a friendly squirrel popped out from behind a bush, waving its tiny paws. "Welcome to Rainbow Meadow," it said with a smile. Lily and Leo giggled and joined the squirrel, ready for a day of fun and new friends. As they played, a wise owl swooped down from a tall tree. "Hello, little explorers," hooted the owl. "Would you like to find the sparkling stream that sings when the sun shines?" Lily and Leo nodded eagerly. The owl led them gently through the meadow until they heard a soft, tinkling sound. There it was, the sparkling stream, glistening like diamonds. The little family sat by the water, feeling happy and peaceful, sharing stories and laughter under the warm sun. As the day turned to evening, the sky painted itself with a big, beautiful rainbow stretching across the meadow. Lily and Leo hugged their new friends and promised to visit again soon. They walked back home, their hearts full of joy and their minds filled with wonderful memories. Together, the little family knew every day held magic when they were side by side, exploring and caring for one another in their bright, friendly forest. Sammy Squirrel's Treasure Hunt. One sunny morning, Sammy Squirrel found an old, crinkly map under a big oak tree. The map had bright red X marks and dotted lines that twisted and turned through the forest. Sammy's eyes sparkled with excitement. It was a treasure map. He decided to follow the clues and find the hidden treasure. With a happy smile, Sammy packed a little bag with acorns for a snack and set off on his adventure through the tall trees and soft green grass. As Sammy followed the dotted lines on the map, he met his friend Ruby Rabbit hopping near a patch of bright red mushrooms. "Hello, Sammy," said Ruby. "Where are you going?" Sammy showed her the map and explained the treasure hunt. Ruby's nose twitched with excitement, and she decided to join him. Together, they looked for the first clue, which was hidden under a shiny, smooth rock beside a bubbling brook. Sammy and Ruby laughed as they splashed water and found the shiny rock with a small star drawn underneath. The next clue led Sammy and Ruby to a tall pine tree where Oliver Owl was napping. "Hoo-hoo!" Oliver greeted them with a wise smile. "Looking for treasure, are you?" Sammy nodded eagerly. Oliver pointed his wing toward a nest high up in the tree. Sammy carefully climbed up and found a tiny wooden box tied with a red ribbon. Inside, there was a sparkling golden acorn. "Wow!" Sammy exclaimed. "This must be part of the treasure." Ruby clapped her paws happily, and Oliver gave a little hoot of encouragement. Feeling braver than ever, Sammy and Ruby followed the map's last trail to a sunny meadow filled with colorful flowers and buzzing bees. In the middle of the meadow was a big, old treasure chest covered with leaves and twigs. Sammy's heart raced with joy as he opened the chest to find shiny acorns, sparkling stones, and a beautiful feather from a bluebird. But the best treasure was a note that read, "The greatest treasure is the adventure and friends you make along the way." Sammy and Ruby smiled, knowing their friendship was the real prize. As the sun began to set, Sammy and Ruby sat together under a tall tree, sharing acorn snacks and talking about their exciting day. They promised to go on many more adventures and explore every corner of the forest. Sammy looked at the treasure map one last time and smiled. Sometimes, the best treasures are the fun and friends we find when we follow our hearts. And with that happy thought, Sammy and Ruby headed home, ready for their next big adventure. The Circle of Friendship. One sunny morning, Bella the bunny hopped happily through the meadow. She loved to explore and meet new friends. Today, she had a special idea. Bella wanted to make a big circle where all her friends could join and play together. She started by inviting fox, turtle, bird, and squirrel. Each animal smiled and felt excited to be part of Bella's special circle. Bella said, "Let's hold paws, wings, and paws to make a big friendship circle." Everyone reached out their paws and wings, joining together. The circle was perfect. They giggled and laughed, feeling the magic of friendship all around. Bella said, "When we share and care, our circle grows stronger and happier." Suddenly, Bird flapped her wings and said, "Let's share our favorite things." Fox brought a shiny red apple, Turtle showed his colorful shell, Squirrel offered a crunchy acorn, and Bella shared a sweet carrot. Everyone took turns sharing and listening. They learned that sharing made their circle even more special and full of love. As the sun began to set, Bella and her friends sat in the circle, feeling happy and warm inside. They knew their friendship was like a circle that never ends, always bringing joy and kindness. Bella whispered, "Friends are the brightest stars in our meadow." Everyone smiled, ready to play again tomorrow in their magical circle of friendship. The Happy Hummingbird's Wings. Once upon a time, in a garden bursting with colors, lived a cheerful little hummingbird named Bella. Bella had the most beautiful wings that sparkled like diamonds in the sunlight. Every morning, she would flap her wings and zoom around the garden, spreading happiness wherever she went. "Look at me," she would chirp, twirling through the air. The flowers danced with joy, and the trees swayed as Bella brought smiles to everyone she met. One sunny day, Bella spotted her friend Benny the bunny looking sad under a big, shady tree. "What's wrong, Benny?" she asked, flapping her wings gently. Benny sighed, "I can't hop as high as I want, and it makes me feel blue." Bella thought for a moment and said, "Let's have a hopping party. I can help you up high." Benny's ears perked up with excitement. He loved parties, especially with his best friend. Bella flew up high, calling all her garden friends to join the fun. She zipped through the flowers, inviting everyone to hop and dance. With each flap of her wings, a sprinkle of magic dust fell down, making everyone feel light and happy. Soon, Benny was hopping higher than ever, giggling and laughing. The garden was filled with joy as they danced together under the sparkling sun. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with orange and pink, Bella and her friends gathered around to share their favorite moments from the hopping party. "Thank you for making me feel happy, Bella," Benny said with a big smile. Bella flapped her wings proudly, realizing that her happiness spread like the colors of the rainbow. And from that day on, Bella knew that her wings were not just beautiful, they were magic wings that brought friends together. The Fruit Salad of Friendship. Once upon a time in a sunny orchard, Benny the banana, Carla the cherry, and Tommy the tangerine were the best of friends. They loved to play together, swinging from branches and rolling down hills. One day, they decided to make a special treat, a giant fruit salad. But first, they needed to gather all the fruits from the orchard. "Let's go," said Benny, bouncing with excitement. As they started their journey, they found a little apple who looked sad. "What's wrong?" asked Carla. The little apple said, "I wish I could join you, but I'm too small." Benny smiled and said, "Everyone is special. You can help us make the best fruit salad ever." The little apple's face lit up with joy, and off they went together. Next, they met a group of grapes who were feeling shy. "Come on, join us," Tommy called. The grapes hesitated but then smiled, thinking about how much fun they could have. They decided to hop into the basket, excited to be part of the salad. The friends cheered. They were gathering a colorful crew. Finally, they reached the big mixing bowl in the kitchen. Everyone started to add their fruits. Benny sliced himself into cheerful banana pieces, Carla sprinkled her cherries, and Tommy carefully peeled himself. Then they all added the apples and grapes. Together they mixed and mixed, creating the most colorful and delicious fruit salad anyone had ever seen. As they sat down to taste their creation, they realized that the fruit salad was not just tasty, it was a celebration of their friendship. Hooray for teamwork! They cheered, munching happily. Benny, Carla, Tommy, and all their new friends had created something wonderful together, proving that sharing and working together makes everything sweeter. The whole body of wonder. One sunny morning, Mia woke up feeling curious. She looked at her hands and wiggled her fingers. "Wow," she giggled. "My fingers can dance and play." Then she looked down at her feet and gave them a little wiggle too. "My feet can jump and run." Mia laughed as she imagined her whole body moving like a joyful band of tiny dancers, each part doing its own special trick. Mia's tummy rumbled softly and she smiled. "My tummy talks to me when I'm hungry," she said. She put her hand on her tummy and whispered, "Hello, tummy." Suddenly, her tummy made a funny little song that made her giggle. Then she held her chest and felt her heart beating fast. "My heart is like a little drum, thumping a happy beat just for me," said Mia, dancing around the room with excitement. Next, Mia touched her head and felt her brain thinking. "My brain is like a clever wizard making magic with ideas," she whispered. She imagined her brain wearing a tiny wizard hat, casting sparkly spells of imagination. "And my eyes," Mia said, blinking bright. "They see colors, shapes, and all the wonders around me." She pointed at a butterfly outside the window, smiling wide at the beautiful world her eyes could discover. Mia took a deep breath and felt the air fill her lungs. "My lungs are like big balloons, helping me breathe in fresh air and blow out silly bubbles," she laughed. Then she clapped her hands and said, "Each part of me is a little wonder, working together to help me play, laugh, and grow every day." Mia twirled around happily, feeling like the whole body of wonder she truly was. The Clever Cat's Whiskers. In a bright and bustling village lived Whiskers, the clever cat with the twitchiest whiskers you ever saw. Whiskers loved to explore and think up fun ways to help her friends. Every morning, she would stretch her paws and wiggle her whiskers, ready for a new adventure. One sunny day, Whiskers noticed her friend Benny's kite stuck high up in the tallest tree. Benny looked sad because he couldn't reach it. Whiskers thought for a moment, her whiskers twitching wildly as a bright idea sparked in her mind. With a clever grin, Whiskers gathered her friends to help. "Let's build a kite ladder," she said excitedly. The bluebird brought shiny ribbons, the puppy fetched sticks, and Benny helped tie everything together. Whiskers used her twitchy whiskers to measure and guide the perfect length. Soon, a wobbly but colorful ladder reached up to the kite. Everyone cheered, and Whiskers climbed carefully, her whiskers twitching with excitement. She reached the kite and gently untangled it, returning it to Benny with a proud smile. Benny hugged his kite happily and thanked Whiskers and her friends. "Your clever Whiskers and kind heart helped save my kite," he said. Whiskers purred softly, her whiskers twitching in delight. From that day on, everyone in the village knew that with a little cleverness, a twitch of imagination, and a lot of kindness, any problem could be solved. And Whiskers? She couldn't wait for the next adventure, her whiskers twitching all the way. The little Skua's Scavenge. High above the chilly, rocky shore, a little Skua named Suki flapped her wings with excitement. Today was her very first big scavenging adventure. She looked down at the sparkling blue sea and the craggy rocks below, where shiny shells and tasty treats might be hiding. Suki's bright eyes twinkled as she imagined all the fun she would have discovering treasures to eat and maybe even some new friends to meet. Suki swooped down and landed on a big smooth rock. There, she spotted a shiny crab scuttling quickly toward a little tide pool. "Hello, crab. Have you seen any yummy food around here?" Suki chirped. The crab clicked happily and pointed its claws toward some seaweed and small fish washed up near the water's edge. Suki's beak curved into a smile. She was already learning where to find her favorite snacks. Just then, two colorful puffins waddled over, their bright orange beaks bobbing as they chatted. "Are you looking for food too?" one asked with a cheerful squawk. Suki nodded happily. The puffins showed her a secret spot where the waves left behind tasty snacks like bits of seaweed and small shells hiding tiny creatures. Suki felt so lucky to have new friends helping her on her scavenging adventure. With a happy chirp, Suki found a shiny shell that was home to a tiny hermit crab. She gently nudged it and said, "Hello, little friend. I'm glad we found each other." The hermit crab waved its tiny claw, and Suki felt her heart swell with kindness and joy. The day was full of surprises, friendship, and plenty of delicious snacks for a little Skua's big adventure. The lazy days of summer. One bright summer morning, Benny the bunny woke up feeling extra sleepy. The sun was shining warmly through the leaves of the big oak tree outside his cozy burrow. Today was a perfect day for being lazy and enjoying the slow rhythm of summer. Benny stretched his little paws, yawned a big bunny yawn, and decided to spend the day just relaxing under his favorite shady tree. The gentle breeze made the leaves dance, and the sunlight sprinkled playful shadows all around. As Benny rested, colorful butterflies began to flutter by, curious about the sleepy bunny. He watched them with wide eyes, fascinated by their bright wings and gentle movements. Slowly, Benny reached out a paw and giggled when one butterfly landed softly on his nose. The lazy day suddenly felt full of tiny adventures wrapped in peaceful moments. Benny smiled, feeling happy just being still and watching the world around him. After a little while, Benny hopped down to the cool creek nearby. The water sparkled in the sunlight, inviting him to splash and play. Benny dipped his paws in the refreshing water and giggled as little fish swam by. He lay back on the soft grass by the creek, watching fluffy clouds drift slowly across the bright blue sky. The lazy days of summer were perfect for taking breaks, dreaming big dreams, and feeling the warm sun on his fur. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with soft pinks and oranges, Benny felt sleepy once again. He curled up under the big oak tree, the butterflies resting nearby, and the gentle sounds of summer all around him. Lazy days are the best days, Benny thought with a happy sigh. And with that, he closed his eyes, dreaming of more warm, slow, and magical summer moments to come. The Happy Red Crossbill's Song. High up in the tall pine trees of the sunny forest lived Coco, the happy red crossbill. Every morning, Coco would stretch his wings, fluff his bright red feathers, and sing the sweetest, happiest song. His song was special because his beak was just the right shape to open pine cones and also to make beautiful music. As Coco sang, the sunlight danced through the leaves and the forest seemed to smile along with him. One day, while Coco was singing, a curious squirrel stopped nibbling an acorn and listened. Soon, a fluffy rabbit twitched its nose and hopped closer, enchanted by the happy song. Even a shy little deer peeked out from behind a tree to hear the music. Coco's song was so joyful that it made everyone in the forest want to smile and feel happy too. Excited by his new audience, Coco chirped even louder and added happy little whistles. The squirrel clapped its tiny paws, the rabbit hopped in time, and the deer swayed gently to the rhythm. Soon, butterflies began to flutter all around, joining the happy forest concert. Coco's song had turned into a magical melody that brought all his friends together in a wonderful forest celebration. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with soft pinks and oranges, Coco finished his song with a happy trill. All the animals cheered and thanked him for sharing such a beautiful tune. From that day on, whenever the forest needed a smile, Coco the happy red crossbill would sing his joyful song, reminding everyone that happiness is best when shared with friends. The Seasons of Friendship. In a magical garden where flowers smiled and the breeze sang, 4 friends lived happily together. Sunny the squirrel loved to leap from tree to tree. Breezy the bird sang sweet songs from the branches. Blossom the bunny hopped gently among the flowers. And Splash the frog splashed joyfully in the pond. One bright morning, they decided to explore how their friendship could grow through all the seasons of the year. Spring arrived with soft raindrops and blooming flowers. Sunny and Blossom planted seeds together, while Breezy sang songs to cheer them on. Splash helped by splashing water gently on the little plants. They laughed and learned that just like flowers need sunshine and rain, their friendship needed kindness, sharing, and care to grow strong and bright. Summer brought warm sunshine and long, playful days. The friends enjoyed picnics under the big, leafy trees. Breezy taught them new songs. Sunny raced from branch to branch. Blossom found sweet berries, and Splash cooled off in the pond. They learned that summer's fun was even better when shared, and that helping each other made every day shine a little brighter. When autumn came, the garden was painted with red, orange, and yellow leaves. The friends gathered fallen leaves to make a cozy nest. Sunny shared acorns, Breezy told stories of faraway places, Blossom nibbled on crunchy carrots, and Splash jumped happily in leaf piles. They found that autumn was a time for sharing memories and feeling grateful for the special moments they had together. Winter arrived quietly with soft snowflakes twirling down. The garden was a sparkling white wonderland. The friends built a snow friend together, shared warm hugs, and told stories by the pond's edge. Even when it was cold outside, their friendship kept them warm inside. They learned that true friends stick together through every season, making their hearts cozy and full of joy. As the seasons changed once more, Sunny, Breezy, Blossom, and Splash looked around their magical garden and smiled. They knew that no matter the season, spring, summer, autumn, or winter, their friendship would always bloom, shine, and sparkle. Together, they made every day a new adventure filled with love, laughter, and the magic of being true friends. The brave little Lincoln's Sparrow's Plume. In a bright, buzzing forest lived a tiny sparrow named Lincoln. Lincoln was smaller than the other birds, but he had the brightest little golden plume on his head that shimmered like the morning sun. Every day, he watched the bigger birds soar high and wished he could be brave enough to explore beyond the tall trees. One sunny morning, as Lincoln fluttered near a sparkling stream, he spotted something magical, a soft, glowing feather lying on a smooth stone. Curious, he gently touched it with his wing, and suddenly, a warm feeling filled his heart. This was no ordinary feather. It was a brave little plume that would help him find his courage. Lincoln decided to carry the magical plume with him as he set off on his very first big adventure. Along the way, he met his friends, a playful rabbit who loved to hop, a curious squirrel who climbed the tallest trees, and a wise old owl who knew all the forest's secrets. They cheered Lincoln on, telling him he was already brave just by trying something new. With the plume glowing brighter, Lincoln felt braver than ever. Together, they journeyed to help a lost baby deer who couldn't find her way home. Lincoln's little heart beat fast, but the golden plume gave him the courage to lead his friends through the twisting forest paths. After a fun and slightly wobbly journey, Lincoln and his friends found the baby deer, who had been scared and alone. Lincoln fluttered close and whispered soft, kind words, reminding her she wasn't alone anymore. The golden plume sparkled as if shining with kindness and bravery. Together, they walked back through the forest, the baby deer's eyes bright with joy. When they reached her family, everyone cheered for Lincoln and his friends. Lincoln realized that even though he was small, his brave little plume helped him shine big and bright. From that day on, Lincoln knew bravery comes not from size, but from a kind heart ready to help others. The Thanksgiving Feast of Timmy and Tina. In a bright forest where the leaves were all shades of orange and red, Timmy the tiny tiger and Tina the cheerful turtle decided to have a very special Thanksgiving feast. They wanted to invite all their friends to share yummy food and happy stories. Timmy bounced excitedly as Tina slowly packed their basket with crunchy leaves, shiny berries, and tiny golden nuts. Together, they dreamed of the magical feast they would create. Timmy and Tina worked together, mixing the berries into a sweet sauce and arranging crispy leaves that looked like little stars on a big plate. They laughed as a curious squirrel peeked over their shoulder, hoping for a taste. The friends gathered one by one, bringing their own special treats like nuts and honey. The forest was filled with the sounds of happy chatter and the smell of delicious food. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with pink and purple, all the friends sat around a big wooden table. Timmy and Tina shared stories about their adventures, and everyone took turns saying what made them feel thankful. They munched on the tasty feast, their hearts full of joy and friendship. The forest glowed softly with the light of a crackling campfire, making the Thanksgiving feast a magical night to remember forever. The brave little purple finches, Crest. In a bright forest glade, there lived a tiny purple finch named Pip. Pip had a special shiny crest that sparkled in the sunshine like a little crown. Every morning, Pip would sing sweet songs and flutter happily from branch to branch. But one windy day, a big gust blew Pip's shiny crest right off his head and far, far away. Pip felt surprised but said, "I will find my crest, no matter what," and flew after it with a brave heart. Pip flew over the tall trees and spotted his crest resting on a soft patch of moss near a wise old turtle. "Hello, Mr. Turtle, have you seen my shiny crest?" Pip chirped. The turtle smiled slowly and said, "I see it, little one, but it's on a slippery rock by the stream. You'll need to be brave to reach it." Pip nodded bravely, his wings fluttering with excitement. "I can do it," he chirped. As Pip hopped closer to the stream, a friendly blue butterfly danced around him. "I'll help you," it said with a joyful flutter. Together, they made a plan. The butterfly flew to distract a curious frog, while Pip carefully hopped onto the slippery rock and grabbed his shiny crest with his tiny beak. "I did it!" Pip cheered, feeling proud and happy. With his crest safely back on his head, Pip thanked his new friends. "You showed me how brave I can be," he said with a happy chirp. The turtle smiled, the butterfly twirled, and the forest seemed to sparkle even more. Pip flew back to his favorite tree, singing a song about friendship, courage, and shiny little crowns that come from the heart. The Christmas Carol of Charlie and Chloe. One chilly December evening, Charlie and Chloe found a curious little book under the Christmas tree. It wasn't an ordinary book. It sparkled with tiny stars and hummed softly when they touched it. As they opened it, they heard a gentle melody, the very first notes of a magical Christmas carol. Suddenly, the snowflakes outside began to twirl and dance, and the Christmas lights on the house flickered to life with bright, joyful colors. Excited, they sang the carol together, and to their surprise, the snowmen in the yard began to wiggle their carrot noses and sing along. The candy canes on the porch started to twirl like ballerinas, and the stars on the tree shimmered brighter than ever. Charlie and Chloe laughed as the magic filled the air, making their whole world twinkle with holiday cheer. As the carol reached its happiest part, a gentle snowflake floated down and landed softly on Chloe's nose. It sparkled and grew until it became a tiny, shimmering fairy. She smiled and said, "Thank you for singing the Christmas carol. Because of you, the magic of the season will shine bright all night." Then, with a sprinkle of fairy dust, the whole neighborhood glowed warmly, wrapped in a cozy blanket of holiday magic. Charlie and Chloe hugged each other with big smiles, feeling the true spirit of Christmas glowing inside their hearts. They knew this was a Christmas they would always remember, a carol that brought their world to life with laughter, music, and magic. And from that night on, whenever they sang the special carol, the magic would return, filling every Christmas with wonder and joy. The friendly piglet's Oink. In a sunny meadow where the grass tickled his tiny feet, Pippin the piglet woke up with a big happy oink. His oink was special. It wasn't loud or scary, but warm and friendly, like a cozy hug. As the morning sun shined bright, Pippin trotted out to explore, eager to share his joyful oink with the world. The flowers swayed and the butterflies danced as the friendly piglet's oink echoed softly through the meadow. As Pippin wandered along a winding path, he met Bella the bunny, who was nibbling on a bright orange carrot. When Pippin gave his friendly oink, Bella's ears perked up and she smiled wide. "What a happy sound," she said. Together, they hopped and oinked, making music with their voices. Soon, a little duckling named Daisy waddled over, quacking a cheerful tune to join their new song. The meadow felt alive with laughter and melody. With every friendly oink, Pippin's happiness grew bigger and brighter. He and his friends played hide-and-seek behind blooming bushes and chased butterflies that twinkled like little stars. When the sun began to dip low, the animals gathered under a big tree, sharing stories and soft oinks, quacks, and hops. Pippin felt proud that his simple oink had brought so much fun and friendship to the meadow. The brave little Saltmarsh sparrow's Plume. In the heart of the Saltmarsh lived a tiny sparrow named Ja. She was small but full of curiosity. Every morning, Ja sang her sweet songs and dreamed of big adventures beyond the tall grasses and shimmering waters. Though she was little, her spirit was large, and she loved to explore the soft mud and flutter among the reeds with her friends. One day, dark clouds gathered quickly above the Saltmarsh. The wind picked up, and the water began to ripple and roar. Ja's friends hurried to find shelter, but the little sparrow noticed a shimmering plume caught in a bush. It sparkled with magical colors, glowing softly even under the cloudy sky. Curious and brave, Ja gently picked up the plume, feeling a warm, happy glow inside her heart. With the magical plume in her feathers, Ja felt braver than ever. She flew through the stormy marsh, helping her friends find safe spots. She guided a little frog to a cozy leaf and showed a crab how to hide beneath a rock. The plume sparkled with every flap of her wings, lighting the way and filling the Saltmarsh with hope. When the storm finally passed, the Saltmarsh was calm and bright again. Ja's friends cheered for their brave little sparrow. She smiled, proud of her new courage and the magic plume. From that day on, Je knew that even the smallest bird could shine brightly and help others, just by being brave and kind. The photo album of memories. Once upon a time, in a cozy little house, lived a girl named Lily. One sunny afternoon, she found an old photo album tucked away on a shelf. Curious, she opened it, and to her surprise, the pictures sparkled and twinkled. "Wow, what is this magic?" she exclaimed, her eyes wide with wonder. As Lily turned the pages, one photo popped out. It was of her first birthday party, filled with balloons and laughter. Suddenly, she was whisked away to that magical day. She saw her friends, balloons floating high, and yummy cake waiting to be eaten. "This is the best day ever," Lily giggled. With a flip of the page, Lily found another photo of a sunny picnic in the park. In an instant, she was surrounded by her family, a blanket full of yummy sandwiches and playful squirrels. "Let's share our sandwiches," Lily laughed as the squirrels danced around her. Finally, Lily turned to a photo of her playing with her puppy in the backyard. The moment she stepped into the picture, Puppy wagged its tail and barked happily. Together, they chased butterflies and rolled in the grass. "You're my best friend," she said, hugging her puppy tightly. After all the adventures, Lily smiled as she closed the photo album. "What a wonderful journey through my memories," she said. "Every picture is a treasure that makes me smile." And from that day on, Lily knew that memories were magical, just like her special photo album. The Adventures of Benny's Bike. One sunny morning, Benny hopped on his shiny red bike, feeling the wind tickle his cheeks. But this wasn't just any bike. It was a magical bike that could take Benny anywhere he dreamed. With a cheerful ring of the bell, the bike zoomed up and over a hill, landing in a sparkling forest where the trees whispered secrets and the flowers giggled in the breeze. As Benny pedaled deeper into the forest, a friendly squirrel popped out from behind a tree. "Hello, Benny," it chattered. "Want to join me on a treasure hunt?" Benny laughed and nodded, and off they went, the bike's wheels spinning faster as they followed a trail of shiny pebbles that twinkled like stars. Suddenly, the magical bike soared over a bubbling brook and landed in a meadow where colorful butterflies danced. Benny waved hello to a wise old owl perched on a tall tree. "Keep your eyes open," the owl hooted kindly. "Adventures are everywhere." Benny grinned, feeling brave and ready for whatever fun came next. As the sun began to set, Benny's magical bike glowed softly, guiding him back home. The forest waved goodbye with twinkling lights as Benny smiled, knowing that every new day would bring a brand new adventure. With a joyful heart, Benny promised to always believe in magic and the power of imagination. The Little Yellow-Eyed Junco's Call. In a bright, sunlit forest, there lived a little Junco with the brightest yellow eyes you ever saw. She was smaller than the other birds, but her eyes sparkled like tiny golden stars. Every morning, she would hop from branch to branch, watching the world awake. But the little Junco was shy. She didn't know how to sing like the robins or the finches, so she stayed quiet, listening to the sounds around her. One day, the little Junco heard a soft buzzing sound. It was Bella, the busy bumblebee, humming as she flew from flower to flower. Bella smiled and said, "Why don't you try to sing with me? Your eyes are so bright, your song must be special too." The little Junco thought for a moment and gave a tiny chirp. It wasn't a big song, but it was sweet and gentle, like a secret melody just for her friends. Encouraged by Bella, the little Junco practiced every day. Her chirps grew clearer and happier, and soon she discovered a special call that sounded like a happy whistle. She sang it softly to the rabbits, squirrels, and even the butterflies. Everyone stopped to listen, their faces lighting up with smiles. The forest felt brighter and warmer whenever the little Junco's call floated through the trees. One afternoon, a gentle breeze carried the little Junco's call far across the forest. Even the shyest animals came out to hear her song. The Junco realized that her small, sweet call could bring everyone together. She felt proud and happy, knowing her song was special just like her bright yellow eyes. From that day on, the little Junco sang joyfully every morning, filling the forest with warmth, friendship, and the magic of her wonderful call. Benny's Big Adventure. Once upon a time, in a cozy little burrow, there lived a curious bunny named Benny. Benny loved to hop around the meadow, exploring and asking questions. One sunny morning, he heard a whisper about magical rainbow berries hidden deep in the enchanted forest. Benny's eyes sparkled with excitement. "I must find those berries," he said, hopping with joy. Benny took a deep breath and bounded into the forest. The trees were tall and the leaves shimmered like jewels. As he hopped along, he met Ollie the wise owl perched on a branch. "Where are you going, little bunny?" Ollie asked. "I'm off to find the magical rainbow berries," Benny replied. "You'll need courage, my friend," said Ollie, flapping his wings wisely. Benny thanked Ollie and continued on his journey. Soon, he met Sammy the squirrel, who was busy gathering acorns. "Hi, Benny. What's your adventure today?" asked Sammy. "I'm searching for rainbow berries," Benny exclaimed. Sammy giggled. "Let's go together. Friends make adventures even better." So they hopped off together, laughing and playing. After a while, they reached a sparkling stream where they spotted Daisy the deer drinking water. "Hello, Benny and Sammy. What brings you here?" Daisy asked. "We're on a quest for magical rainbow berries," they shouted in unison. Daisy smiled. "I'll join you. I know the way." With their hearts full of excitement, the three friends hopped along the stream. Finally, they arrived at a beautiful glade filled with vibrant colors. There, under a giant rainbow tree, were the magical rainbow berries. They glimmered and sparkled like the stars. "We found them!" Benny cheered. The friends danced around the tree, sharing laughter and joy. Together, they picked the berries, knowing this adventure would be a memory to treasure forever. The Magical Moonflower. Luna was a little girl who loved the night. Every evening, she would climb the small hill near her home to watch the stars twinkle and the moon glow. One night, as she reached the top, Luna saw something very special, a beautiful flower shining softly in the dark. It was the Magical Moonflower, glowing bright and opening its petals just for her. Luna's eyes sparkled with wonder as she whispered, "Hello, beautiful flower." Suddenly, the moonflower's petals shimmered and a soft voice said, "Would you like to come with me on a magical adventure through the night sky?" Luna's heart beat fast with excitement. She nodded quickly, and with a gentle breeze, the moonflower lifted her up, soaring high past the tallest trees and into the sparkling stars. Luna laughed and reached out to touch the glowing stars that twinkled like tiny lanterns all around her. Among the stars, Luna met tiny star friends who twirled and danced around her, their lights flickering happily. They showed her how to make star wishes and told her stories of faraway places where the night was always bright with magic. Luna felt brave and happy, knowing that even though she was small, she could explore big, wonderful worlds with her new friends and the Magical Moonflower. As the first light of dawn peeked over the horizon, the Moonflower gently brought Luna back to her hill. She hugged the glowing flower and whispered, "Thank you for the magic and the stars." The Moonflower glowed softly one last time before closing its petals, promising to wait for Luna's next visit. Luna smiled, feeling the magic of the night sparkle in her heart forever. Lily's little friends. One sunny morning, Lily stepped into her garden and noticed something magical, tiny little friends peeking out from behind the flowers. There was Leela the ladybug, with shiny red wings, and Carl the caterpillar, who loved to wiggle and giggle. Lily smiled wide and said, "Hello, little friends. Would you like to play with me today?" The little friends nodded happily, ready for a day full of fun and adventures in the colorful garden. Lily and her friends decided to play hide-and-seek. Carl the caterpillar wriggled behind a tall sunflower, while Leela the ladybug fluttered her delicate wings and hid under a leaf. Lily laughed as she looked carefully, finding her tiny friends one by one. Then, a fluffy bunny named Benny hopped out from behind a bush, joining the happy group. Together, they all giggled and ran around, making the garden sparkle with their joy. After their game, the friends sat under the big oak tree for a tiny picnic. Lily shared her apple slices, and Benny nibbled on some soft clover leaves. Leela told stories about flying high in the sky, and Carl dreamed of becoming a beautiful butterfly one day. The sun painted golden light all around as the friends felt happy and safe together, knowing that every day in the garden held a new adventure waiting just for them. The Little River of Rachel and Ryan. One sunny morning, Rachel and Ryan noticed a tiny sparkle behind their backyard bushes. Curious, they tiptoed closer and found a little river, no taller than their knees, bubbling happily over shiny stones. "Look, Ryan, a secret river," said Rachel with wide eyes. They decided to follow the river's twisty path to see where it would lead them. As they walked beside it, the water giggled and splashed, inviting them on a magical adventure. Along the river's edge, Rachel spotted a tiny frog wearing a dimpled smile, hopping from one lily pad to another. "Hello, little frog," she waved. Ryan found a bright blue butterfly fluttering close by, its wings shimmering like rainbows. The river seemed full of friendly creatures waiting to say hello. As they followed the river, they saw flowers of every color dancing in the gentle breeze and felt the fresh, cool air that made their cheeks tingle happily. The little river whispered stories as it flowed under smooth stones and around tiny bends. Rachel and Ryan learned that even a small river helps plants grow tall and gives thirsty animals a place to drink. "Our little river is a hero," Ryan exclaimed. Suddenly, the river sparkled brighter, and a gentle breeze sang through the trees as if saying thank you. Holding hands, Rachel and Ryan promised to protect their special river and all the wonderful things it brings to their backyard world. The friendly eagles soar. High above the tall, green trees, Eddie the eagle loved to soar through the bright blue sky. His big wings spread wide as he glided with the warm breeze. Eddie wasn't just strong and fast, he was the friendliest eagle in the whole forest. Every day, he flew down to say hello to the animals below, sharing smiles and happy chirps. The forest was a place full of laughter and friendship, and Eddie loved being part of it all. One sunny morning, Eddie spotted a little white bunny hopping nervously near a big oak tree. The bunny's nose twitched as he looked all around, clearly lost. Eddie swooped down gently and asked, "Hello, little one. Are you okay?" The bunny's eyes brightened. "I'm lost and can't find my home," he said softly. Eddie flapped his wings with a smile. "Don't worry, I'll help you find your way." Together, they began their adventure through the forest. As they traveled, Eddie and the bunny met playful squirrels darting between branches and a cheerful bluebird singing a happy tune. "Follow us," the squirrels chattered, leading the way through twisting tree paths. The bluebird flew overhead, singing songs that made the journey feel like a fun game. Eddie's kind heart and the new friends they met made the bunny feel safe and happy, even when the forest seemed big and confusing. Finally, Eddie spotted a cozy burrow nestled beside a gentle stream. "This must be your home," he said with a happy flap of his wings. The bunny's face lit up with joy as he hopped quickly toward the burrow, where his family waited with open arms. Eddie felt proud and happy to have helped his new friend. As the sun began to set, Eddie soared high into the sky once more, knowing that kindness and friendship made every flight even more special. The Tale of Timmy and Tina. One sunny morning, Timmy put on his favorite red shirt and grabbed his little adventure backpack. Outside in the garden, he met Tina, a wise and playful turtle who could talk. Tina smiled and said, "Hello, Timmy. Today is perfect for an adventure." Timmy's eyes sparkled with excitement as he asked, "Where shall we go?" Tina pointed to the sparkling garden path and said, "Let's explore the magical garden where flowers sing and clouds float like cotton candy." Together, they stepped into a world full of colors and surprises. As they wandered along the path, the flowers began to sing sweet songs that made Timmy giggle and dance. Tina told stories about each flower's special magic. One flower whispered, I can spread happiness with my petals. Timmy reached out to touch a glowing yellow bloom, and suddenly, tiny sparkles floated up into the air. The clouds above floated low and looked like soft, pink cotton candy that almost begged to be tasted. Timmy and Tina laughed together, feeling like they had stepped into a dream full of fun and wonder. Suddenly, a gentle breeze carried a tiny sparkling seed towards Timmy. Tina explained, "This is a wishing seed. If we plant it carefully, something wonderful will grow." Timmy and Tina found a cozy spot by a bright green bush and planted the seed together. They watered it with a little magic from Tina's shell, and soon a small glowing sprout popped up. Timmy cheered, "Wow, it's growing so fast." Tina smiled. "That's the magic of friendship and imagination." As the sun began to set, Timmy and Tina sat side by side, dreaming of all the adventures still to come in their magical garden. The friendly albatross's wings. Once upon a time, in a sunny land by the sea, there lived a friendly albatross named Alex. Alex had the biggest, most beautiful wings you could ever imagine. They sparkled like diamonds in the sunlight and could flap like a gentle breeze. Every morning, he would soar high above the waves, feeling the fresh ocean air tickling his feathers. But even with all his flying, Alex felt something was missing. One sunny day, as Alex flew over the beach, he spotted Benny the bunny hopping around looking sad. "What's wrong, Benny?" asked Alex, landing softly beside him. Benny sighed, "I wish I could see the world from the sky like you do." Alex thought for a moment and said, "Why not hop on my back? I can take you for a ride." Benny's eyes lit up with excitement. With a big flap of his wings, Alex took off into the sky with Benny on his back. They soared above the trees and the sparkling sea. Benny squealed with joy as he looked down, seeing everything so small and beautiful. "Thank you, Alex. This is the best day ever." Alex smiled, feeling his heart fill with happiness. It was fun to share his wings with his friend. After their adventure, they landed back on the beach, where Leela the lizard and Sammy the squirrel were waiting. "What happened?" they asked curiously. "I took Benny for a ride in the sky," said Alex proudly. "Can we go too?" they both chimed. Alex's wings were ready to share more joy, and he said, "Of course, the more the merrier." So, one by one, Alex took Leela and Sammy high into the sky, and they all laughed and cheered together. They felt like birds, gliding through the clouds and dancing with the wind. When they finally landed, they were all breathless with joy. Through sharing his wings, Alex discovered that the best adventures are the ones we share with friends.